If you have questions, type it in the room. Okay, down here where I'm going to say hi. Everyone see that? So some of you are new, some of you I recognize. I trade gaps. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about earning a living. We're going to talk about trading. We're going to talk about stocks. Is everybody with me? Ready to go? Beautiful. Wonderful. Great to be here. And it is December. It is almost 2025, which is really hard to believe. And here we are. Good week. We have the Fed meeting in 2 weeks from tomorrow. Lots of volatility in the market and lots of opportunities to trade. So we're going to talk about trading for a living and specifically trading on the side of institutional money and gaps. So for those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that I trade gaps. Now, if you didn't know that, we're going to go over that today and what a gap is. I think most of you know I appear on TV. I talk about the stock market. I talk about the economy and my thoughts again on stocks. Like there was news out yesterday, actually last night at this time, about the Tesla with Elon Musk, with the package, with the lawsuit in Delaware. So it's kind of interesting. You know, there's lots of news out, sometimes expected, sometimes unexpected, that happens after hours, like the market's closed now, it's 4 o'clock. So I talk about those things on TV. If you have questions, you can email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. You can call me at 929-3200-GAP. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or Skype. Again, well, I shouldn't say Twitter. It's X now. I keep saying Twitter. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's doing that. Can everybody see the slide? Are we good? Perfect. So I put the stats in here for year to date. This does not include actually the last couple of days because I was off for the holiday, but this includes up to the last week. We're up for the year, $823,787 in the live trading room. These are mostly shorts. Some trades are longs. It feels like we've been going long quite a bit lately, but like yesterday we went long Tesla actually before the news came out after hours, but mostly I short. And you say, well, it's been very bullish this year. Yes, that's true. The market was bullish this year, but I prefer actually to short. So if you decide to come and trade with me, I call all these trades, I call live in the room, okay? I call the entry, the stop, and the exit, and you can take the trades with me. And your sizing is dependent on your size of your account, how much margin you have, and that's something, again, if you have questions, you can always ask me. But you should be able to do small size or large size with my system. I also trade options. This is our year-to-date stats for the options newsletter. Now I'm risking more money, between $8,000 and $9,000 for my options trades. So I'm risking more. And again, if you want to do one contract, you can do one contract in an option. If it costs $5 and you bought one, that would be what? $500 risk. Okay. Now I'm risking between $8,000 and $9,000. So again, this doesn't include the last week. I will update that by the end of this week, but I'm up over $3 million for the year. So stats for the year with options and day trades, if you did all my trades this year, $3,847,177. Now I got this question in a previous webinar where people were asking me about the exits. And I get this question a lot. These stats, okay, do I always get the best exit? Whether it's in the room or the option, the answer is no, I don't. I will tell you right now, I called the 510 QQQ calls yesterday that expired this week, and I got out of them yesterday. It was a great trade. Went to the piggy target. I was looking for 515. It ran up over 516, but that trade went higher today and could be even higher tomorrow. So I do not always get the best exit. My goal is to get the best pick, get the direction right in the trade, find the best gap, okay, trade it, whatever it happens to be, whether I'm going long or short, and get the best entry. And I accomplish that. So again, I do my best to get a good exit, but what I don't do normally is hold a trade too long and let it move against me when I'm up a lot. Now, there were some trades in the last 2 months or so that I did do that I held a little bit longer, but that's certainly not every trade. And again, I'm seeing some people come in late. If you have questions, you just write it in the room, okay? Everybody with me? And to chat, you go down to the bottom, choose to individual user, and you put my name, and that's how you chat. And then I'll see as we go along. Anyways, less than a month to New Year's Eve. It's December 3rd. That's crazy. Before you know it, it's going to be Christmas and New Year's Eve, and then all of a sudden, January. 2025 is almost here. It really is hard to believe. The whole year we were talking about the election up until about a month and a half ago. I mean, or a month ago. It wasn't even a month ago. The election, today's the 3rd. It felt like it was the whole year. The election, interest rates, everything, the Fed. And now, poof, the election happened, and now it feels like there's just a, positive optimism in the air that the market certainly has embraced, 100% has embraced. I mean, again, I just got done telling you about the Qs trade. I mean, I think people are expecting to have a good year in 2025. Businesses, I'm talking about, the economy, things like that. So if you're a trader, you want to be able to capitalize on that. And that doesn't mean going long everything. It definitely doesn't. And I told you, I prefer to short. But it means capitalizing on the opportunities when they're there, and you got to spot them and find them in that moment when they're there. So in fact, you can pounce on them. Because again, getting a good entry in something in a trade is extremely, extremely important. And if you were trading all year 2024 and you did not make money this year trading, you definitely have to change what you're doing if you want to make money in 2025. If you did make money this year, but not as much as you wanted to, you still should change something that you're doing to have a better year in 2025. So the only way you're going to have a good year in 2025 if you did not have a good year trading is to do something different. Now, what if you had a great year? Like I had a great year. There's nothing that's going to change that between now and the end of the year, actually. All I have to do is just stay steady, focused, and I'm good. But again, I want to have a better year next year. So it's constantly wanting to improve, learn more, understand more, trade better. And that is all something that we should be striving for. And again, any questions, let me know. So I consider myself an expert in the stock market, but particularly in gaps and really in shorting. And in order to become successful in the market, I feel like you have to become a specialist in whatever types of trades you're doing. And for me, it is gaps. But if you become a specialist in one specific strategy, you're going to have a higher chance of making it. You can't be all over the place with everything you're doing. You just don't have good odds trades that you're going to be successful doing that. So every day I'm looking for power money. And every day I'm looking for that because I'm looking for momentum. Power money moves the market, it moves stocks. And again, if you want to do this, you have to learn the skills to how to read the price action in a chart. Again, it's technical analysis, it's advanced technical analysis that I'm using, and it's based on the gap. How do you do this? Education. Okay, so for those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I teach a class that I teach once a month. The last class for the year is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And people are already in it, and spots are filling up. And then the next class is until the end of January 2025, actually, just the way the calendar is with some holidays in January. So if you wanted to get in and start trading with me by January 1, you'd want to do this class. You may have to leave early as a recording. I will try to put a recording up on YouTube for this if you have to leave. JT. You can just email me later. Anyways, I see some people again coming in late. Just, if you have questions, you can write it in the room. Now, one of the trades we did, we were talking about going long in November. This was the 7th, okay? I talked about options. One of the reasons I think people love to do options is because they love to do them because of the fact that you don't need a margin account. But I actually think options are great to be able to hold overnight too, because you can get a big move overnight usually if you're holding something for the continuation, and you can't do that in a day trade, or you shouldn't, because you really have no protection because you're not on margin, you're in cash. So if you sign up, you will get the newsletters which come to your email directly. The symbol here was Amazon. The strike was 210 and expired on the 15th. So this was one we did. It was a call. Again, it was Thursday the 7th. So let's look at it. Here was the day. Here. Stock closed here, gapped up, rallied, boom. Do you see here how that moved higher? Again, a call is a long, so you would have gone long it. And again, it had to move up and it went through the strike. The strike was 210. Now that was a gap. That was a bullish gap. Okay, again, I do bullish gaps and I do bearish gaps, but that was one you could have got in and got out, or you could have held it up into this move up here. See, it goes, it went up. So this was the 13th, 14th. Again, you could have held, you could have got out right here, made money, or you could have got out here or here. So let's go back. It cost $2.75, and you could have made $6. And again, that was not the high of the options trade. But again, I'm usually trying to look for 100%. It was 118%. Booked it, got out. If you did 4 contracts with an average risk of $1,100, you could have made $1,300. So again, when I do options, I'm trading options based on momentum. In the case here of Amazon, the momentum was to the upside. Okay, so it was a long. So we've been talking about this again, trading, showing you the stats. If you want to do this as something that is substituting or supporting you for your regular job or even extra money on the side as a part-time income, number one, you have to take it seriously. You can't be willy-nilly about your trades. You have to take it seriously. You have to act like it's a business because it's exactly what it is if it's something that you're trying to pull money out of on a consistent basis. Number one, you need a winning strategy. What does that mean? It means you have to learn first. Learn it first, then do it. Number two, you need a supportive mentor. That's me. You kind of learn from me. I'm the one that developed the system, and you will learn from me and follow and listen to what I say in the room. Like again, yesterday I said 515 for the QQQs is a dream target. That's where it went. That's where it went. Again, my experience in trading has taught me how to read the price action, which is again the purpose of learning from me and doing the class as well. Then three is become an expert in one thing, implement the strategy, get good, and then size to win. So again, if you're someone that is not necessarily ready to trade size, that's okay. I would say the most important thing is building up your confidence. Green, green, green. Even if you book $200 a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if you have a string of green days for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it's just amazing how that really, really will help you. And again, I know everyone wants to make a lot of money, but the fact is learning is extremely important. And once you learn, then you'll have the confidence and conviction to go ahead and make the money, okay? Any questions from anyone so far? Does everyone see where to chat? Down here where I'm going to say hi again. We good? So again, how do you make money in the market? You have to use your brain. You have to learn it. You have to understand what's going on. Again, everyone's like, well, I just want to trade and I just want to do whatever. That's all well and good. I wish I could say everything goes exactly the second I call it, boo, and it goes. That happened yesterday with the market. That's true. That's true. But sometimes I call a trade and it wiggles and it jiggles and the trade may be down, not stopped out, or plenty of time in the option, whatever. And if you don't understand what to do, you will second guess yourself. You will question yourself. You will kill it. We'll get in, get out. You'll double down. You'll do all kinds of crazy things. If you understand what's going on, you won't have erratic behavior. That type of erratic behavior that I'm describing is what kills traders, okay? So again, it's very, very important to understand what's going on, and that's part of the learning process, okay? And so the whole purpose of learning my system is to determine who is in control, and this is a reason for my success. When I see the gap and I'm looking for the pick, I'm trying to determine, could be whatever ticker symbol. We do something different every day. I'm trying to determine who's in control, the bulls or the bears. That's it. It's either the bulls or the bears, or maybe you have no one in control, in which case then we're not going to do any trade in the stock. If the bulls are in control, you want to go long. If the bears are in control, you want to short, okay? If you determine who's in control, then you can make money. How do you lose money? You're getting something in the wrong direction, which is unfortunately something that many, many people do. So you have to get the direction right to win. If you get the direction wrong, you lose. Netflix is a great chart. I didn't see where this closed today. It doesn't even matter. The fact is, this has been on a tear. Many people didn't do the long, or they got out too soon, according to them, and then they jump back in, or they wanted to short a day, they wanted to wait for a pullback, or they thought it was going to, be climactic, and all kinds of crazy things. Well, meanwhile, the stock's still going every single solitary day up. Okay. This is a great example, though, of a chart that is very strong, and it's an example where you would have lost if you had played this chart short anytime at all, if you'd done a put in it, anything in the last 2 months. Okay. This is a chart that you would have had to be long or be in calls to make money and profit. You got to get the timing right still in options, that's true. But again, it's extremely, extremely, extremely important to be in the right direction. And this is also a good example of what? Of the power and control of institutional money. Because the stock here, again, I'm going back to the end of October, mid-October, was around 740-ish. And it's almost gone 200 points since then. Not quite. The high over here was 908 and change, but it almost has run up 200 points. That's pretty crazy. That's a big move, even for a stock like this, and particularly at this price point. Okay? So again, you need a winning strategy. What is mine? Mine is called Golden Gap. So what is a gap? A stock gaps in the opening price today is different than closing price of yesterday's trading. A gap is a break in price action from one day to the next. So again, what is a gap? Target. Stock close here, gap down. Stock close up here, snug as a bug, 156 and change. Gap down here in the morning around 128-ish. Open drop. This was on 1120. So we shorted it and we did a put. Okay? So again, stocks gap down. Stocks also gap up. This was a gap up. Stock closed here at one price at 4 o'clock, gapped up at 9:30 at a different price, higher. I did not go long this, but technically you could have gone long that. Okay? Everybody with me? How are we doing? Are we good? Very good. Okay, Raymond, I saw you come in a little bit late, but hopefully you're hearing. David's good. Okay. All right. So, again, what is a golden gap? It's a stock that rates 20 points or more per the 26-point rating system. You're like, what the heck is a 26-point rating system? It's a system that I created myself, okay? So when I started trading in 2007, I ended up jumping into trading. Didn't know what I was doing, didn't have a clue. Took one class, learned about technical analysis, but didn't learn anything that could make money in the market. And then I ended up developing my own system from 2008 till about 2.5, 3 years. And ever since, I've never looked back. So I developed a rating system based on the daily chart. And if it rates 20 points or more, if it gets that cutoff, 20 is a lot of things, then I will take the gap in the direction of the gap. Okay? So you do the trade as a day trade or an option. That's up to you. I do both. If you don't want to do day trades, you can do them all as options. If you don't want to do options, you can do them as day trades. Okay? You need a focus. And again, my focus is what? It's gaps. And I also like to short. Now, again, we're going long because there's been long opportunities there, like I said yesterday with the market, and we've done Tesla and Netflix too. But I do love to short. And we did a put in Target, and we day traded Target, and it was good. Okay? And right now, again, it's December. I get it's the holidays, and it's a couple of weeks from the end of the year, and it's Christmas and everything else. But we have a Fed meeting in 2 weeks. There's opportunities to trade this week, next week. There's going to be moves prior to Christmas, okay? And there's going to be opportunities to trade. Volatility is going to happen in 2025. Even if the market is bullish and people are exuberant about the election and everything that's happening, it doesn't mean we're not going to have wild swings. It doesn't mean we're not going to have volatility. And volatility offers, again, opportunity if you know how to trade it. And again, could be long, could be short, okay? Now, again, how do I go through the process? I rate gaps with a 26-point checklist. I go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I go through it every single morning. I never skip it. This is what you're going to learn from me if you come and want to learn my method and you do it yourself. And you should ideally do it yourself before you come in the room. The room opens at 9. We trade in the morning between 9:30 and 10. Cutoff time to be in the room is 9:20. You got to be there 10 minutes before the open. And again, you should do the work yourself. You come in, you say, oh, I rated Target. I liked it. Melissa likes it. Boom, this is a good one. And again, the whole idea is to believe that the trade's going to work because you're risking your own money. You're taking the trade. And if you understand what's happening in whatever stock we're doing, Target specifically, for example, if you understand that that's going to get dumped and sold off, which is exactly what happened, it sold off like a hotcake, you will feel the conviction to be able to take the trade. Again, short it or buy the put, okay? So again, the rating system helps me determine who is in control, okay? Who is in control. And again, it's one of these things where every once in a while, we may not have any control. That seems unusual, but every once in a while, that's definitely the case. Any questions here so far? Now, if you're like, well, the control's to the upside, but I missed it. Should I short it? No. You just find something else to do, okay? You're not going to be able to fight against institutional money. Even if you're like, well, just let me scalp it. No, that's dangerous. That's how you're going to lose. Again, the move that you would have wanted in Netflix was the bullish move to the upside. And if you didn't play it, you didn't play it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to miss the next pick, the next Netflix. Again, it could be a different ticker. So gaps happen in the market on a regular basis. However, some gaps are better than others. Some gaps are nothing gaps. And some gaps are very powerful displays of institutional money. The most important gaps in the market, though, are gaps that signify a change in direction or a bigger move in the same direction. Understanding which gaps are meaningful and which gaps are not meaningful in the market will help you to note what to do and when a change is occurring. That is how you know when the power of money will flow to pay you. So again, you got to look at it every day. I'm not necessarily doing the same stock every day. And sometimes they change. So you could have an institution that's buying a stock for days or weeks or months, and then boom, they dump it, and then all of a sudden it's flipped. Or you could have the opposite. It could be falling, and then boom, they're in it, they're buying it, it's moving up, okay? So this is what you learn in the class with me. You're going to learn how to read the footprints of institutional money. How do you read it? In the price action, in the daily chart, okay? So you're going to have a daily chart. You'll set it up to look like mine. If you learn how to read the footprints of big position players before the momentum occurs, you can take the position in the right direction and get out after the move happens for profit, okay? But you have to understand how to trade with this side of power, and you need to know how to find it. Knowing how to read what institutional money looks like is essential to becoming a successful trader. You can win big trading on the side of power. And I actually believe that it's the only way as one individual can make money in the market. Otherwise, you have to take an obscene amount of size to get a 10 cents, 25 cents little baby move, or you have to trade stocks that are too risky with low volume or low float stocks. If we didn't have institutional money, if I didn't have the stocks to trade, like to get a $5 move and any of these options or anything we're getting, like it would be very difficult to make money. And the risk wouldn't benefit the reward for how much size you'd have to take to make thousands of dollars, if you know what I mean. So it's a good thing that we have these stocks to trade that can have these kinds of big moves. Because again, there's so much momentum going on in them and volume as well. Now here's Tesla. Great example, again, of the power of institutional money. I'm going to go back. We did calls on this. We day traded this. We did a bunch of trades in this. This was the 5th. Stock closed here again. Down in the day of the day, it was the 5th here. It was around 250 and change. Next day, it was up. Boom. This was the 6th. And then it took off. So within a 1-week period, the stock moved up over 100 points. That is the power of institutional money right there. The stock got bought. And we were in it. We got it. We were in this before this move happened, actually. And again, people talk about options. They love options. People love options because of the fact they can trade options with a small account without margin. I think the benefit of options is to capture overnight moves. That's my personal, where I find that beneficial for me. And I think the most profitable trades I've had have been that way. So again, becoming a successful trader and investor requires becoming a specialist in defining where the institutions are buying or selling a stock. Learning advanced technical analysis is required because that's how I do it. If you don't have charts, you can't even see anything. You're trading blind, basically. You can't make stock picks based on fundamentals. What does this mean? It means reading price action and charts. Again, comprehending how to read, define, and trade with this power will have a huge positive impact on your profitability as a trader. And so you've got to elevate yourself, your trading, and your profits to a higher level of consistency and success by learning how to read the footprints of institutions trading in the market. So here was one that we did. This was Netflix. This was a while ago. It was 11/6. We did the 775 Netflix calls. It's hard to believe that we just did this trade less than a month ago. Today is December 3rd. This is crazy. It cost $10 for one. So let's say if you took one and you spent $1,000, you could have sold it at $62. And it went higher than this. I'll show you the chart in a minute. Profit was $5,200. It was a 529% trade. So let's go back and look at it. The 6 here. So again, boom. It's really crazy to believe that what this stock did in the time that it did it. This is a great example of the power of institutional money. We've done a ton of trades in this. So we did this one, we got out. We did 1 million of them though. But this is just one example where you could take one contract of something and risk $1,000 and you could have made over $5,000. Everybody talks about trading size. If you've got the cash to do it and the size in your account to risk $9,000, you could have made $46,000 on this or more. You could have taken 20 contracts, whatever you want to risk. The point is, you don't have to trade size in order to profit on my calls. You set your risk, you have to look at the cash you have, and you have to risk it equally. It's hard to believe now. The high of the stock was 908 and change. I didn't see where this closed today. But this has run up 130 points from the place that we did it, and that was less than a month ago. Look at that. Any questions at all? How are we doing? Hello, is anyone there? It's dark out already here. It's 4:32 in New York and it's dark. Daylight savings time. Welcome. Oh my God, I can get my pajamas to go to bed after this. All right, so you need to make money. You need to make money. That's the most important thing. I get that trading is fun and it's fun to go to chat rooms and this and that and the other thing, but it's not fun if you're losing. I hate to lose. Do I sometimes take trades that lose? Yes, I showed you that in the stats. The losers are in the stats, but I have more winning trades than losing trades. And there are periods of time in my trading, which like I feel like we're in right now, where basically almost everything is working. People come into the trading room expecting to win on a regular basis. And that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling for me, and it's a good feeling for the participants in the room. This is one of these years where almost everyone that's in the room is renewing. And the couple of people that have not renewed yet, which hopefully still will, have not really told me what's going on, and I don't know what's going on in their life, or if they just aren't trading. I don't know. You know, I'm here to help people understand the program and do it. You got to talk to me if you have questions. But a lot of people want to know why. Knowing why helps you do better. If you don't understand why Netflix kept going or why Target fell, it's going to be very difficult for you to hold the trade or take the trade or hold it against it if it moves against you, even if you have 2 weeks left in the option. Do I send the trades the night before? No. How could I do that? I don't know what they're doing. The stocks could be gapping in the morning. I can't send a trade out now for tomorrow. It could be completely different. This is like right now, live trading. See it right now. 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 a.m. It's 4:34 on Tuesday night. For all I know, the market could be making new highs tomorrow, or the market could crash. Something with Russia or Ukraine. I have no idea. That's why I get up every morning and I do the pre-work. Every morning I get up and I'm rating the gaps. So again, you have to look and read it in live time. Now, again, I was talking about using a 26-point checklist. This is what I do in the morning. Now, you may see a gap at night. We say, oh, I like this one at night. Apple had earnings, it's gapping. If you want to rate it at night at 5 o'clock or something, fine. but you still have to double, triple check it in the morning, and you're not doing any trades in it at night. No, because tomorrow could be completely different, and the rating may be different, and even it may be gapping different by tomorrow morning. So that's the other thing. So I just wait to the morning, okay? But that's what you'll learn from me as a checklist. You'll learn the entries, the exits. You'll learn all of that. And when you think about it, you're like, okay, this totally makes sense. Trading with institutional money, trading with power, getting big moves. That's how you can make money. Also, getting in and out quickly for the day trades, not trading all day. So the room is open from 9:30 to 10, maybe 10:15. We're done fast. It doesn't make sense to trade until 4 o'clock. Your odds go down. Your odds go down. It's like trying to hit a bullseye 20 times in a row. You're at a bar or something like that. You're hitting a dartboard. You're not going to do it. Your odds are very extremely low every time you throw it. If you make $1,500 in 5 minutes right away, that's it. Shut it down. Be done. You're done. And if you're retired, or you're trading full time and you're like, oh, I'm bored, find a hobby, do something else, be productive, write a book, go out in the Central Park. You can't keep trading all day if you hit a big winner fast out of the gate and think you're going to stay on that track. I trade, I do one thing, I'm done. And that is really also very obvious from my stats too. If I take a trade and I lose in the first trade, I might do a retake, and then maybe I have 2 trades that day. But again, that's not all the time, and that's rare. But again, if I have 2 trades or more, then I'm usually having a bad day. The idea is to have a good day and do 1 trade. Make sense? Everybody there? Hello, can you hear me? Adrian's there. So if you trade gaps also, okay, it's the most advantageous time to get the move in the morning anyways. Like if I go back and I analyze everything and say, okay, well 80% of the move usually happens in the first hour of the day. So again, it's like, why would you trade all day? You know what I mean? And if you're in an option, you don't have to babysit it every second of the day of the trading day. You can check it at lunch. You can check it before the close. You can put a sell order out, a limit order to hit you out. And if it hits, it hits. If not, you're in it overnight. So you don't even have to babysit the option if it doesn't go right away in the first hour. You can just come back and check it. Okay? Somebody has a question here. Do you consider the after-hour volume? Well, this is just a general analysis. I'm not doing anything that doesn't have volume. So that's like, I'm just not doing it if it doesn't have volume. Like, I'm not even going to do it. So like again, we don't trade low float stocks. We don't trade penny stocks. We don't do any of those things. So I just don't do anything that doesn't have volume, Adrian. Because why? Again, we're talking about institutional money. That's big money. If it doesn't have money in there, like if it doesn't have volume, it doesn't have the people. Do you know what I'm saying? So why waste your time? Anyways, when I trade, I'm looking to trade the momentum, okay? And again, then, whether you have a small size or a large size, you'll get a good risk to reward. So we were talking about the Fed meeting. Again, the Fed meeting is on the 18th. I have no idea what he's going to say. I don't know what he's going to do. Is the market going to have a big move? Probably. You know, how? I don't know. But I'll see it in the gap, and then I'll make a decision accordingly. So again, whether or not he will stay on, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens comes 2025. But we're looking for a big flow of money going a certain direction, and what moves the market stocks, creates momentum, and sets the trend in charts. When you're looking for institutional money, you're really reading the side of power in a stock. You want to be on the side of the power in order for you to make money trading. Institutional money is in charge of the market and stocks at all times. Even if you think it's not, it is. And that's what's so interesting. So you could get a move in something. Trump could say something about tariffs, and the market goes woo and sells off. Again, it doesn't mean you short the market or you short the world, okay? You have to be very thoughtful when you're taking trades. That all happens when you're just by yourself in the morning at your desk. I'm quiet in the morning and I'm analyzing and I'm doing the pre-work. There's no stress. The market isn't even open yet. You can't even trade. You could start at 7 a.m., 6 a.m., 8 a.m., 8:30. You want to start at 9? You know, that's late for me, but you do all the work and make the decision what you want to trade by yourself ahead of time. If you don't like anything and it doesn't rate good before the open, guess what? You're not doing anything that day. You got to follow the rules. It's every stock that we've talked about here, Jim, has millions and millions and millions of shares. So, I mean, we're trading Apple, Netflix. You can go back and look at the ticker symbols. I mean, they're companies. They're real companies. You know these companies. Amazon, Tesla, Netflix. You bought their products. You know, maybe you're in love with the companies. Target. Maybe I love Target. We shorted it, but I love it. You know. Anyways, number one, you need a good strategy. And number two, you need a supportive mentor. And I try to be that for people. Like I said, I ask people, how are you doing? What help do you need? You do and follow. You get in the room. I call the trades. I say, I don't like anything today. Or I like this one and this one. Let's watch them both. Or I love Target. Let's do it. And I call the trade. For those of you that have seen my videos on YouTube or in the emails, you see that I call the trades and I'm in and out of them very quickly. Fast. So that's why you got to learn how to do it too before you come in the room. Everybody that's in the room has done the class, but if you follow me, you should do well. Again, every person in my room should be up for the year. I have heard from almost everyone. It's a couple of people that have not responded back to me, so it's hard to say what's going on with them, but we'll see. It's like, I'm here to help you. It benefits me if people stay on the program, and I want people to do well. And again, I'm here to help you learn it. You shouldn't be afraid to ask questions. You know, some people come from different backgrounds. Some people are very experienced trading, but it doesn't mean that you necessarily will understand what I'm doing. I think a lot of people have habits that are just negative habits that really work against them. They may be doing things that do not work, and they've been doing them for a long time, so it's hard for them to get off of them. If what you've been doing is not working consistently for you to profit and make money, you have to change what you're doing. It's like, I can't even think of an example. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. It's like just anything. Like, say you're on a diet and you're like, I'm on this diet for 3 months and I haven't lost a pound. You say, well, this diet isn't working. You say, forget it. I'm abandoning the diet. I'm going to just eat normal, healthy, or I'm going to try a new diet. You know, it's like, you can't keep doing something with a set goal in mind, nowhere, you know, not moving the benchmark. And again, for trading, if it's January 1st and today, and you started trading 2024, whenever the market was open this year, first day of the year was probably the second or third, and it's December 3rd, if you're not up for the year, you've got to change what you're doing for next year. How can you expect that you're going to get anywhere? You won't, okay? Or again, a common denominator is people say, well, I'm making money, but it's like next to nothing. Like, they'll make money in 2 trades, lose in the next 5. Make money in 3 trades, lose in the next 2. They're up, they're down, they're basically up barely anything, like almost flat. Like, if they had to pay commissions, which most people are not paying commissions anymore, they'd be in the hole. You know, commissions used to be a big chunk of people's trading profits when people were paying commissions years ago, before most of the places went to 0 commissions. But anyways, trading is about consistency. I cannot stress that enough. It's just so important. So here's the target. We were talking about this one was a good trade. Stock closed here, gap down. We shorted it. Entry was $127.50. I got out. I made $2 in it. It went all the way down. Went all the way down, came all the way down, broke 120. Again, I did not have the best exit in this I could have had. I traded in the morning. I didn't get out. But it kept going. And we did the put. So again, if you want to hold this down, I think it's better to do the option. But you could have held this day trade down all the way through that area. So this was a nice trade. You would have needed a margin account to do that trade. Now, some days we don't do any trades. Why? Nothing rates good. That's okay. You trade in the morning, focus on the quality. This was another good short we did at AMD. Another one I got out quick. This was the 30th. Closed here, gap down. So the stock was up here like around 166. Open here like around 152-ish. I shorted it. Again, fell. Boom. Again, we ended up doing this down. This was a nice mover. This was a solid short. You could have done a put in it. And again, made good money in this. You could have actually held this longer. So I got out at 148.50. You could risk half of what I'm risking. You could risk double. You could risk a third. You could have taken 100 shares. Again, this was a margin trade. If you wanted to do a put, you could have done a put. You could have just bought the put. Boom. You could have done that and got in and out on the day as a put. Anyways, getting back to what I started to say earlier, you know, people have to get their heads on straight to do well. If you're in a good environment, a positive environment, when you're trading, you will do better. And I run the room. I lead the room. I talk in the room. No one else can talk. No one else sees anyone else's chats. I'm the ruler, okay? People enter my room expecting to win. That is literally the mindset this year. And I expect to win. It doesn't mean every trade works. Sometimes we have a loser, but we're almost all shocked if I actually have a losing trade. That's how well I've been doing this year. If you are in an environment every day that's supporting you, that the leader expects to win, and then you get up every morning and you're winning. And again, the amount of the profit doesn't even matter. It's the idea that your head is like, I am going to win. Because I will tell you, I've been teaching people for a long time now, besides trading for a long time. Most of the majority of the day traders that are trading, the retail traders that are trading, they trade and they say they love to trade, but they literally every day are afraid that they're going to lose. They may not be able to say that out loud, and some people do say it out loud. But the mindset of many traders or retail traders actually is every day they're afraid they're going to lose. So they don't expect to win. They're shocked when they win, and we're shocked when we lose. Do you see the difference? And that kind of mindset sets the tone. It sets the tone for our trading day. It sets the tone for the room. And it sets the tone for you yourself to expect yourself to do this and be successful. There was a guy, and I told this story earlier today, that just signed up over the weekend. Every trade I've called since he joined, which is only 2 days, has worked. I think he's shocked. I think the guy is shocked, actually. You know, like, he's like, oh, whoa, you got to change your mindset, okay? Because so many people have done a million different classes and traded for years, and they're just used to losing. They're still doing it. They're still trading. I mean, I don't know if this is any of you, but I'm taking my experience and trying to tell you this to help develop you, if you come to me and want to learn from me and become a client, that your mindset is extremely important. If you get up in the morning and you're afraid you're going to lose, or you think you're going to lose, or you expect yourself to lose, or you're worried you're going to lose, guess what? That is what you will create. If you get up in the morning and you log into my room and you expect to win, guess what? You're going to create that. And even if you make a mistake here or there or something, you fix it and you just move on. And it's just like a one quick thing you fix. Okay? Any questions? How are we doing? Hello, is anyone there? We did IBM, 1024. This was a good one. Stock close here, gap down, open, dropped. I love this one. We did an ad, entered at 219.10, added at 218.75. Average price was 92. Beautiful trade. I could have held this longer, but this was a good, solid trade. And I made $6,000. This was this gap. Closed here, gap down, and fell. I really like this. We did an ad. We don't do that in every trade. That was a good short. Are the trades day trades or overnight? This trade here, this IBM, like I said, the day trades, we're trading on margin. You're in and out between 9:30 and 10 a.m., 10:15 in the morning. It's a morning trade. You're in and out quick. Could be 3 minutes, could be 20 minutes. If I'm doing an options trade, you could get out the same day, or you could hold it overnight. It depends if it went or not. But that's an option. These are not swing trades. Does that make sense? Do I find gaps every day? No. Some days I don't. We did no day trades this morning at all. I didn't like any day trades, long or short. We did no gaps this morning. So the answer is no. Some days there isn't any. We did one option today, but it was late. Why or when do you decide to do options or go long to equity? Well, that's what you learn in the class, Adrian. It's based on the rating system. If it rates 20 points or more, and the higher the rating, the better the gap. So that's what you learn in the class, the rating system. That's what makes me decide I want to buy Netflix or I don't want to do it on any given particular day, whatever that day happens to be. You can't go long every bullish gap. You can't short every bullish gap. You can't go long every bearish gap. You can't short every bearish gap. It's not that easy. It takes understanding what to look for. That's what we go over in the class. Those are good questions. Anyways, we chunk it out. We do a trade, we get in, get out. We chunk it out. Again, they're day trades on margin in the room. The options are newsletters. You get the trades, your email for the newsletter. You don't even have to be in the room. Now, there are people in the room that are doing options, and I think the room is beneficial. But you don't have to be in the room to do the options trades and go to your email in live time. And if I send out a trade at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm pretty sure of that gap, and you still can't do it till after the open. Your minimum account size to trade options is $2,000 to open up at any broker. I'd only risk $100 or $200 a trade at most. If you want to go retail margin, you need $25,000 at a retail broker. You get 4-to-1 margin. If you want to go prop and trade on margin, you can open up a prop account with $5,000 and get 10-to-1 margin. That's margin trades, day trades, where you're shorting 1,000 shares, for example, of Target. You understand that? I don't know if you've ever traded before, David, or what kind of trading you've done. Have you ever traded before, David? And anybody else that have any questions? Again, everybody comes from a different experience level. I taught a lady a year ago. She traded on a demo for a while, but she never traded in her life. Didn't know a thing. I was the first person she ever learned from, which actually was good. She listens to me. She does well. She was on a demo for a while, then started with small size. She's doing good. Her husband wanted her to do it, actually. They both did the class, but she's trading. She's doing good. She doesn't mess around. This morning she said, you're not doing anything. I'm off. I'm logging out. Okay, fine. She doesn't make a whole big mishmash out of it. Again, I think some people are so sometimes dialed in that it almost works against them. There's a difference between being focused or just like making yourself crazy. David's done options. Okay. Then you just buy and you pay the cost of the trade. We're buying calls and selling them and buying puts and selling them. All classes are online, JT. I did a live class in September, which I'm not planning another live class. And if I do plan one, it'll be a million months in advance. So I don't have one planned right now at this point for 2025. It was a lot of work. But I did that in September. And it was a good class, actually. It was great to meet people, and people came face to face, and people loved it, actually. My question is, how do you stop the feelings of a loss? You mean if before the loss occurs, or after there's a loss in your account and then you're a mess? Or you mean you're just worried about the loss and it didn't even happen? Are you worried that you're gonna lose, though? Or did you just take a stop and now you're in a mess in your head? Or you're just like constantly worried you're gonna lose? Is that the feeling that you have? Like I was talking about? You're constantly worried. Well, there's one way to solve it. First of all, you're probably taking too much risk, too big a size in trades, and that could be total risk. You could be in one trade too big, or maybe you're in 5 trades, but the total amount of those 5 trades you have too much risk on. Like if I call 5 options and you are in them all and you have to go to bed at night, I say you shouldn't be in 5 trades at once. So it's either that, or you're not confident in your strategy that you're applying to take the trades. Like you take a trade and you're worried about it because you think you're going to get screwed. You think the market's going to go against you or something's going to happen. And so you're constantly worried because you really don't have 100% conviction in the strategy that you're using that made you take the trade in the first place. You know what I'm saying? If you have 100% conviction that this rated this many points and it's going to fall off a planet or rally or whatever, you won't get swept up into the anxiety and the fear and the worriment if a trade is wiggling and jiggling, like I was saying, particularly with options. But it can happen with day trades too when we're trading, you know, on the day. If it takes longer for somebody to go, maybe it takes an hour for a trade to go, but it still holds the stop. But you don't have enough confidence in the strategy you're applying that made you take the trade in the first place. And that is where many people falter. They don't have a good system. They want to blame themselves. And they want to blame themselves and say, well, I'm really not disciplined, or I do. It's really, I hate to say it, but it's really very often not any of those things. It's the simple 101 that you're not using a good strategy that doesn't have consistent wins to look at a stock and make the pick. You took the trade, you thought it was a good trade, but it really wasn't because it's not a good strategy. And now you're caught in it and you're down, or you're going to be down soon. And then you're fearful because you don't know what you're going to do if you are down. Are you going to kill it, or are you going to take the stop, or are you going to give it more room and lose more, or hold it overnight? And these are all the thoughts that people think all the time, all day long. And they're thoughts that are it's just anxiety. It's not doing the work, like looking at the chart and saying, this is going to drop, and this is going to fall, and this is going to rally. You're not being, you know, I don't want to say non-biased, but you're not being like a business person, basically. You're not looking at the facts. You're letting the feelings and emotions of the anxiety drive you, which we all have. But I use my emotions to help me trade and do better. You're not going to get away from the fact that you have emotions. You're in fear, and the emotions are making you feel that way because you don't have confidence in the strategy that you used to take the trade in the first place. If you had confidence in the strategy, you wouldn't have anxiety if you took a full loss. And if you had confidence in a strategy, you wouldn't be having anxiety and worrying about it, whether or not a trade's going to work before even taking it, or even if you're in it and it's down, you'd hold it on through and you'd let it ride and you see where it goes. And that's where you got to gain that confidence, and you're not going to gain it if you're doing something that is losing. You got to win, basically. That's a good point. What exit strategy do you use? When do you cut the losses or take a profit? If I take an options trade on Monday and the trade never goes in my favor, I'm taking the full loss under the expiration date on Friday. Okay? If I take a trade and it goes on Monday and it goes 150%, I'm out, or whatever. If I take a trade that's a day trade and I have the stop in, like, go back to these ones here, then I take the stop. I mean, the stop is a hard stop. It's a limit order stop. Like, I have the stop in. After I take the trade, the stop's in. If it goes over the number, I'm out. Like, if I had a stop, I don't even remember where I put the stop in this, but if I had the stop in this at 223, I don't remember where I put it. But if it had gone over 223, I would have had the loss. And again, the entries and exits you learn in the class, but you're not, like, not putting the stop in. It's not you arbitrarily deciding where to kill it. You have to put the stop in. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can just let your account dwindle away to nothing. If you're just like, well, I'm just going to give it a little bit more room, and then all of a sudden you risked $500 and you're down $2,500. Anyways, it's really about working smarter, not harder. Why I focus in the morning. But like I said, the maximum time to get the maximum profits are in the morning anyways. So it just doesn't make sense to trade all day. We talked about shorting, why, fast moves, panic. All of that is extremely important. Again, you want to be able to get the big moves as quick as you can. So we talked about following a mentor, having a good strategy, and then number 3 is becoming an expert in one thing and focusing on one thing. And getting back to what Ray was saying, if you're an expert in something, you're not going to be in fear. You're like, I have 100% conviction. I'm the person that knows what to do. And think about something that you're good at. That's why I say, like, whatever it is. Maybe you're an accountant. Maybe you're a CPA. Maybe you're an attorney. Maybe you're a doctor. Whatever. Maybe you're a plumber. You're like, how do I fix this leaky pipe? You're like, oh my God, I know how to do this. I've done a million of these. This is how you do it. Or you go and you fix it for somebody and they pay you. You're the expert in that criteria. You're the expert in that specific field. Every one of you here is an expert in something. So pull that energy into what you're doing with trading to recognize that that's what you need. And you probably don't have it, which is why you're here listening to me and considering my class. But know that you can get it. And that's my point. And that's the thing you've been lacking. You know what I'm saying? You are good at something. You are an expert in something, whatever it is, okay? And maybe you're great at playing a musical instrument. Maybe you're great at sports. You're a good golfer. My father's a good golfer. So pull that into your trading and realize that that's what you don't have. And you got to become an expert. And I'm an expert in gaps. I'm an expert in shorting, okay? I'm an expert in fast trades. I'm an expert in predicting directional bias, institutional money. You got to get it to become an expert and a focus on one thing. And again, if you're all over the place in different strategies and different things and trading all kinds of different things all the time, you're never going to get good at anything and you're never going to become an expert at anything because you're always looking at the next get-rich-quick thing. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't be a great basketball player and a great football player and a great golfer all in one shot. That's crazy. I don't know why people want to do futures and Bitcoin and options and they want to do 10 different types of strategies. Well, you're not going to be an expert in 10 strategies, so forget it. And you don't need to be. You only need one, and you really only need one good pick a day. One good pick a day, and that's it. You'll find the consistency. You'll have less losses. You will not be stressed out about money, and you will expect yourself to win. And the only way to get over the hump of feeling the consistent worry about fear about losing is to start winning. And that's where the trust and confidence comes if you decide to come and take my class and pay me for my class, and you trust that you come in the room, that you're going to learn what to do and you're going to listen, and you take the trade. Start slow, but you'll build the confidence and trust over time. Could take a couple of days, could take a couple of weeks, whatever. It won't take as long as you think. It's just that you may not be on the right path for such a long time, and you may be in such a bad habit for so long, losing or feeling the fear of the losing or whatever, that you just don't even know what it feels like to feel good about doing this. But you can feel good about doing this. That's my point. You can and you should. And why would you want to do something you feel bad about anyways? It's like, why would you want to get out of bed in the morning and feel bad? I don't know, but people do it. Like, again, people get out of bed and they look forward to being in the room and it's a good environment. And that's what I've managed to been able to develop. But I'm doing it for myself too. Do you know what I'm saying? So the good energy is there for myself because I'm trading, and then people absorb that and we look to win. And that's what you've got to take into your day. And you need the support. You don't have anybody, patting you on the back when you're having a good day or cheering you on. And everybody needs that, So one of the cornerstones to everlasting trading success, though, is also consistency. We talked about this. Without it, it's hard to stay in the market for any length of time. I mean, people leave, they blow up their accounts, they come back. I've talked to many people over the years that still have not taken my class. They've done a million different things, and they're still not there. I don't know. You're ready when you're ready. You know when you're ready. If you want to do this and be in for 2025, it's a good time. If you're not ready, you're not ready. It's just taking the leap of faith and deciding you want to do it. In order to be consistent, a person needs proper focus on what counts. For me, I focus on stocks, like I said, that are being moved or controlled by institutional money. Again, how do I determine that? I rate the gap. So how do you know what stock to trade each day? You rate it. You get up and rate it. You find the power of money. Target was a great example. In one, you could have done a put. You could have done a day trade. We did both, okay? So you will learn from me how to rate the gap, do the checklist, enter the stock, exit the stock. You'll learn all the targets. Again, some people like to do day trades. They don't want to do options. Some like to do options. They don't want to do day trades. I personally like to do both, okay? I'm getting the extended move with the option and the quick move with the day trade. But it's the same philosophy. It's the same concept of looking at the power of money. It's the same thing. Again, it's getting the direction right. Trends are set and moved by the power of money people, of which there's a lot of in the market. And I think, like I said, we're going to see some huge moves in 2025. The amazing thing is that as negative as the traders and analysts talk about the power money people, they're the reason that one individual can be successful in the market. Again, if we had a room of 1,000 people, we still wouldn't move Apple. You've got to have these hedge funds, these big professional traders, banks that trade. You have to have this kind of oomph. And again, who the heck wants to be in a penny stock? You can get hurt in those stocks. Trading stocks that are cheap with low volume, first of all, they get halted all the time. Very dangerous. You don't get filled. Wide spreads. They're a disaster. Okay? No one should be trading any of those things. They're just a disaster. Again, we've been talking about this, but this is just another good example of the control. Because even the last 2 days, actually, Target had a short play in it that you could have done if you wanted to get in and out of it as a short play. But the most valuable information for people to trade can be found in reading price action and gaps. Understanding chart reading of gaps and how important the patterns of price are in the market will assist you in being profitable. Reading power money when it sets up will help give you conviction to trade. Seeing when and where the power money positions are getting in is like finding a gold mine. Seeing gaps clearly and how they're creating trends, changing trends, and making momentum is a powerful way to trade. You can use this information to enter trades yourself so you can get paid along with the power money moves. So we talked about this before, I think in other lectures, or I had it in the email. For 2025, you want to get to the next level. You want to level up. If you're losing, you want to win. If you're flat, you want to win. If you're making money, you want to make more. You know what I'm saying? And again, remember what I was talking about with conviction. You only get conviction if you're good. Otherwise, you don't have any conviction. You're like, well, I'm not good, so how do I get good? You got to learn something, and you got to develop the skill set, and you got to follow someone that has the skill set so that you too can develop the skill set. Just listening to me talk in the room every day and saying Target's going to work and then having it work. Netflix is going to go to 900 and then it does. That's how you build up the skill set. You trade with someone that has a good skill set. That's how you do it. And then as you're winning, you will develop and get the confidence in yourself again that you've been lacking. So again, this is a process. I mean, it can happen where it turns off like a light bulb or turns on like a light switch for you. It can happen overnight or the day after the class. But I think the class itself is eye-opening for people when they understand what I'm looking at and why. That alone just helps people before they get up on a Monday morning and trade the day after the weekend class. They understand why I think this is going to happen. And that really does help people and elevates for trading just at that point, getting the information to understand it, which is something that they didn't even understand before. And then you take that information and you apply it to your trades and your choices and your picking when you're making the picks, and you're going to pick better quality trades. There was something, I don't remember the ticker symbol. Somebody emailed me something about some stock, and I can't even think of it. I think it was something with Bitcoin, or I don't even remember. Something associated with it. It's something I never traded. I wasn't interested in trading, whatever. This person thought this was like the best trade in the world, and it was a horrible trade after I looked at it. The person made money, and they were sort of like bragging to me that they did the trade and made money, but it was a bad trade. And they made money in a trade that didn't make any sense. And if they had held it, it would have completely reversed against them. You know what I mean? So, again, you could make money in trades that actually aren't good trades. You're not going to get where you want to be doing that. The idea is to learn something that you can use and use the same steps every day continuously, and you do that over weeks and months and years of time, and that's how you get better and make more money over time. You apply the same steps to the process. Otherwise, you're all over the place doing crazy things or looking for, again, something that's going to make all the losses back that you ever had since the beginning of time, which is totally unrealistic. What you need to be focusing on is getting on a good program and then just taking it up and continuing and getting where you need to be so you feel like you're getting somewhere with it. And that part of that is, of course, making money, but part of that is the knowledge base and the learning impact of it, too. Any questions? It's a good lecture, actually. The system tells you how, what, and when. How do you make money in the market? Trade a strategy in a system that is profitable. So golden gaps are highly profitable. They focus on large momentum to trade. What stocks should you trade? Stocks a gap and rate 20 points or more per the system, which you will learn. You will learn in the class. You trade the gap always in the direction of the gap. When do you trade them? Early in the morning. That's what we're getting in. When they set up and trigger, which again, I teach the entries in the class, and you must have a structure in place in order to make any money at all consistently. It is about the consistency that many traders lack in their system. So again, this is what the support of the room offers people to stay on track. But if you get up in the morning, you learn it, you should be rating the gap before you log in. I do that. I rate the gaps. The checklist tells me what to trade and what to look for every single day. So again, it's a rating system. It tells you a high probability of directional bias the entire day, big move in the day, early confirmation of the bias in the move between 9:30 and 10, and precise entries with follow-through and a good risk-to-reward target potential. So again, you follow it and you do it. And it's something you can learn, and then I'm there to answer your questions. And then you say, okay, this is my plan of action for 2025. I'm only going to do gaps. I'm only going to do day trades, or I'm going to do day trades and options, and I'm only going to do the ones that rate 20 points or more. I'm going to get in and out in the morning. And you just plan it. You say, I'm going to risk this much money on every trade. I'm going to put in my stops. You create a money management plan for yourself. Like I said, just like it's a business. You buy a workbook. You take notes, you plan it out, you write it out, get organized. You need a game plan. You have to take this seriously. If you don't take this seriously, you're not going to do well. If you do take it seriously, the sky's the limit. Again, a lot of people train and they just don't take it seriously. I don't know why. I don't know why people would want to risk their money and not take it seriously. That's so silly to me. But I think people have been at this for so long, trying things that they just kind of half-ass it. Because they really don't think they can do it anymore, but they're doing it anyways, like a hobby. You should be risking money as a hobby. This should be something that you take seriously. You can have fun and do it and be serious about it, but the most fun is actually making the money. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyways, 2025 is going to be a big year. This was the live class that I did in September. I had people come. I did the live class, but I don't have another one planned. So, I mean, the class is online. This is real. You can do it. And again, if you want to do it, the class is this weekend, December 7th and 8th, the last class for the year. I think I've talked about this picture before, and half the people didn't even know who he was. This was Bill Ackman. I put this in this webinar. I saw him in a restaurant. Follow successful people. Don't follow people that don't know what they're doing. Don't follow strangers in chat rooms that you don't even know what strategy they're using and probably are losing. You want to follow people that are wealthy, successful. Do you know what I'm saying? This should be very, this is like a no-brainer. And for some reason, people will go into chat rooms and take trading ideas from total strangers that are probably losing. And if they say they're winning, they're probably lying. You want to follow successful people, okay? So be practical and professional. And again, if you come and take the class, you will learn the rating system. I teach it in the class. You will empower yourself to train and use the system for yourself. It's a complete system where you will learn the strategy, you will learn the entries, the exits, you will learn the targets, and you'll learn how to read a chart in a very different way, which again is a class this weekend. So the class is called the Golden Gap Course. It's a full course on how to strategically find, pick, and play stocks that are professional bearish gaps. The class, the last class of the year, is this weekend. Now, I'm doing a Black Friday special, which I extended through Friday for people to take advantage of this. It's normally $89.99 for the Golden Gap Course bundle, which is 3 classes. I'm doing 1,000 off. So you get the Golden Gap Course, the Trends course, and the Options course. They're all next week. Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. All classes are online, and you get 3 subscriptions free with the Black Friday special, with the Snoopy and the Brain, and you get the market report free, the newsletter free, and the trading room free, and the bundle is $79.99 for the sale price. This is ending on Friday the 6th, and obviously the class is Saturday and Sunday. If you want to sign up for this, email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. This is a great deal. Again, here's the dates and the pricing. Any questions from anyone? How's everybody doing? Jim, are you following me a while or are you new? Some of you I don't know, some of you I do know. a few years. Have you ever traded gas? I see Bob there. Well, that would be new. It would definitely be new. Again, you have to be motivated to want to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you have to be motivated. You have to say, yeah, I'm ready. I want to do it. Let's it. 2025 is going to be my year. I'm not holding back. I'm not making any excuses. I'm jumping in and I'm going to do it. And that is only something that you can decide. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm here to support you. If you're ready and you want to sign up and do it. But again, the end of the year, the beginning of the year is a great time to start new programs. And you have to decide if you're ready to do it. You know, it's one of these things where I'm here, I can answer questions for you, and I do have spaces available in the class this weekend, but, you know, the next class is the end of January. It's a long way away. So if you want to be in and engaged this month and January early on, this is the class you want to do. You're ready to get educated. Perfect. I don't think you'd be disappointed. You cannot retake the class unless you pay for it again. So would you want to do that? For example, I had people that were in the room in 2023, did the class, were in the room all year, and I had, you know, similar specials last year. Some of those people are doing the class Saturday and Sunday and Tuesday and Thursday. So in other words, once you become a student, if you just want to renew the room or the newsletter, you can. But I have people that paid this price. They paid $79.99 and they're doing the class and they already did it. But they're also getting the subscriptions and extending into 2025. So again, that's like putting the cart before the horse if you even would need to do that. So it's once and done, no free retakes. You may not need to do it again. If you want to, I say wait till your subscriptions are up and decide at that time and see what specials I'm doing. Because again, this is a nice program here. We get 3 classes and 3 subscriptions. And if you know you want to stay in the room in a year and you want to get on the options newsletter again and continue trading, then you can do the classes a second time, pay for it, and then you get the room and everything else. But that's like so far away. I would not worry about that. In the meantime, if you do the class and if you have questions, you're in the room every day. You ask me questions when you're in the room. You can email me questions. You can call me on the phone. I'm a real person. I had somebody call me that did the class more than 10 years ago. He hasn't signed up for this weekend yet. I have to follow up with him. He remembered me. He did the class. Something happened in his life, job related, and then he stopped trading, and now he wants to come back. He has not come back yet, but I think he's going to because he called me. I remembered him. I don't forget anybody. So again, it's just like you have to want to do it. But the class aside, it's a weekend, I get it, but it's early in the month. It's not the holidays yet. It's not Christmas weekend. Classes aside, the time that you would spend during the actual live day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that you have to set aside, we're done by 10 a.m., 10:15. That is extremely early if you're Central Time or if you're on the West Coast. This is not like you have to trade all day. That is not what we're doing. So again, the time that you have to spend in the morning, Monday through Friday doing this is a very short amount of time that you have to devote to doing it. You can go off to work or do something else. This is not like a full-time 40-hour work week thing. You have the classes and you got to be present and take notes and pay attention and you learn it on the weekend and then the 2 days of Tuesday and Thursday. But on the normal schedule, you get up, you do your ratings, give yourself an hour, log into the room, we trade, we're done, boom, you're off, 10 o'clock, 10:15, you got the rest of the day to yourself. So if you're willing to make the time and energy and spend the money to invest in learning a program where you're going to have that type of schedule, it's well worth it. You know, and again, I'm just one of these firm believers that trading all day just ends up in disaster. You run out of day, your options go down, stocks tend to drift off, and especially in a month like this, to be honest with you. Especially around the holidays. Any other questions, JT? JT, how long have you been following me? Have you been following me for a couple of years? It's actually interesting because I was doing mortgages for 17 years. I was in banking, and now I'm 17 years trading. It's like this coming year. If once I go over that 17 years, I'll have been trading longer than I did my prior career, which is, I'm almost like shocked. I have to tell my parents that when I go home for Christmas. Like, I'm almost shocked. Like, now I'm almost at the point where I'm trading longer than I was doing my previous career, which I did for a long time. I'm at that point, even Steven now. Like, I'm almost like, whoa. Like, I've been doing this a long time. I've been in New York for more than 10 years. I don't know if it's 14, 15. I've been in New York a long time. But not in this area that I'm in now. I'm in a very, very good area. Or I wouldn't be here, to be honest with you. New York is a place where it's fabulous to visit and it's great to be. But if you're not in a good area in the city, it's a mess. The city is still a mess. I'm optimistic, though. I'm very optimistic about New York coming back and fixing itself in 2025 and hoping that the new administration and the mayor will get on board and things can change here and get better. I'm happy where I am. I'm in a fabulous, fabulous place. But if I couldn't be where I am right now, if I couldn't afford the lifestyle that I have now, I probably would have left New York, to be honest with you. And most people that I knew actually did leave New York. So it's, your money is a vehicle to having a wonderful lifestyle. Nice things are great, but it's the lifestyle choices as well. And again, it's the freedom and the lifestyle to be able to live the way that you please. And so these are all things that, people should be thinking about, especially going into 2025. While I do think that things could change as far as inflation and the economy, and I don't want to get too off on a tangent because I know it's late, I'm not sure if we're ever going to go back to the prices of things the way the prices used to be, because they've been high for so long. Do you know what I mean? Like food prices, gas prices, all the things. Like, will it ever go back to be as cheap as it was? Or even interest rates? Who knows? Like, probably not. Do you know what I'm saying? So the only way to keep going when things cost a lot is you got to make more money. And how are you going to do that? Well, you can work for yourself. You can go get a job. You can find a raise. You can work 2 jobs. You can have a full-time job. You can trade on the side. Again, many people that are with me, I would say 30% of the people are retired. And but they're trading for extra money because the retirement isn't enough. This is the world we live in now. Listen, have a great evening. Have a wonderful day. If you're interested in the class, email me. I will send you the forms. If you have questions, email me. I will answer them. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night. And happy holidays, everyone. You're welcome.